Yep,
I'm
sorry.
holding a paper towel.
Okay, it's a wet one.
Let's go ahead and
Am I where I need to be?
Get that.
About right there? Is that good?
I think you can see as good as us.
Okay.
Zach looks like he's
comfortable.
big.
He does look big. You look really small in that position.
I know. I like this seat. It makes me feel tiny.
Feels so comfortable.
I mean, I'm the one who needs to work on his
I motion for that chair to stay.
What are you talking about?
Just that chair. I just motion it to stay.
He likes that one. Mm-hmm.
It's not very often I get to be the small guy.
I think you look good.
Thanks.
You look healthy.
I hate that.
Yeah, everybody does.
I fucking hate that.
I mean, it literally only means...
Do you know that everybody, when I got into early recovery and they'd see me and I was like all self-conscious about the first 30 that you put on as soon as you start eating again.
Like you.
And everybody, I'm like, I'm big, but I can work on that. And they'd all be like, no, dude, you look good. You look healthy. And I'm just like, I'll punch you right in your face, dude.
You want one of these?
You know, yeah, dude, like, thank you. I appreciate that. I know I'm healthy, but
yeah,
these man chi-chis don't seem healthy.
Healthy.
You know? It is what it is.
It's healthier than like the skeleton look, you know?
I never got the skeleton look. I'm really like if I look at my weight when I was at my worst, it's like 215, 220. That's probably my ideal weight. You know what I mean? I don't know about the sunken eyes and the lack of sleep and the malnutrition and that, but if I could convert my unhealthy 215 to a healthy 215 or 20, that is my I think that's where I'm supposed to be. I don't think I'm supposed to be 240, 250. But I did get up to 294, but we got rid of that.
Wow.
50 pounds.
Early recovery?
No, like last January.
It was like a year ago.
I was a big guy.
Yeah,
I mean, we look at pictures and
January.
Yeah.
Oh, that was right before...
That's when we started the old peptide journey.
Yep.
And that was cool.
I didn't think you were up that high.
Oh, yeah, dude. 290, 293-ish. And I went, not today, Satan. I'm going to go ahead and not let you touch 300. I'm not a lineman. You know? It's crazy when you're that big, too, because you, like, start to have real irrational thoughts about, like, maybe I could microdose meth. You know? Like, just use it in
It's funny you say that, because we used to talk about it all the time.
Yeah.
It worked for me back in the day.
No, it's just like an irrational thought that you have when you get into early recovery, I think, because you watch this change in your body where it's like cheeseburgers, real irrational thoughts. And they never turn into anything, obviously. I didn't try to microdose meth. But it's like...
Not a bad idea.
I'm pretty sure if you, like, could manage it.
If you could balance it, like, in a nice, healthy way.
Just a gel tab in the morning with, like, a...
Like, have the energy...
$0.25 maybe or something and just fucking not eat ever. My diet consists of thinking about tacos, you know?
Well, I mean, when I was on meth, I didn't think about eating tacos ever.
You didn't? I would be like, babe, we need to...
I'm always thinking about eating tacos.
I would be like, babe, we need to eat tacos. And then Tuesday'd turn into Friday. And I'd be like, we still need to eat tacos.
What's up with them tacos?
Yeah.
Way later on.
It's crazy. How was your guys' week so far? It's Tuesday. How was your weekend and early week?
It was alright.
That's about all you got? You went and saw your family?
No, we're not going
to dive into that.
No, we're not going to. Fuck
that. Okay.
Okay.
But I did see the Super Bowl.
Did you? What did you think of it?
I feel like some of the teams and players didn't even like show up.
Well, the two main ones did.
What teams were playing?
The Seahawks did.
Oh.
If you look at the stats, though, the Pats, if you erase their turnovers, they had better stats than the Seahawks. But, I mean, everybody thought, it was like 65% of people thought the Seahawks were going to win. I think everybody knew the Seahawks were going to win, ultimately. I think that the Pats were too young of a team. I was commenting early on because we just made bad chicken and fried potatoes.
It wasn't bad chicken.
Nah, it wasn't good, though.
It wasn't good.
So that's
it wasn't
bad.
like great chicken, which with two cooks, it should definitely be great chicken.
And we had Scotty with the body.
Scotty came by,
and then he got tired and started yawning first half, left at halftime. After I commented that some of my best snaps actually take place on the Super Bowl.
After that comment, he took a nap.
A little snoozy?
Oh, yeah.
My weekend consisted of not getting out of my pajamas all weekend. That's pretty much what I did. Yeah, that doesn't happen.
I think the worst part about the Super Bowl was starting at 11:30 and eating at 4 and taking the first bite of that chicken and being like, why didn't we get Cane's? You know? It's a bummer.
You really regretted it that much, huh?
I just didn't enjoy it. I mean, normally I cook and it's fire, and this one, there's very few times where I'm just like, turd crater.
Do you know what step you missed, or?
Mainly the flavor, the texture. It was all gluten-free, so we used Sandra's gluten-free Cheez-Its, and we used pork rinds, and we used
gluten-free flour.
Which is basically like, you know how all-purpose flour is our flour? Gluten-free flour is like no-purpose flour. Like there's no purpose.
I don't know what that is.
Yeah, it's
gluten-free flour.
It's like I bit into a piece of that, and I'm like, how can you create a barrier between my mouth and the chicken that's that dense and thick and dry?
That's
purpose.
It was awful. I mean, it wasn't awful.
It wasn't awful.
But it wasn't
It
good.
sounds pretty bad.
It wasn't good.
The way you guys describe it sounds bad.
Yeah.
Well, we went in with really high hopes, right? We did something different in the beginning and went in with really high hopes, and
it is what it is. You win some, you lose some, you move on.
Yeah. Well, at least you know.
Yeah.
Won't be doing that again. You know?
it's kind of like how the Packers felt.
We did go to lunch yesterday at La Buena Vista, a Mexican joint on Harmony.
We're out on Harmony.
Harmony.
The interstate?
No. Cole's parking lot.
Oh, yeah.
It was fire, dude. We got their carne, and it was mighty delicious. I thought.
That's pretty damn good. I don't get steak.
That made up for it.
I don't get steak at Mexican restaurants ever, and
She gets carne asada.
I will not eat the steak. But can I get some carne asada?
I was pretty impressed. I will give it that.
Yeah, they do good
I was
work
pretty
there.
impressed.
So, what are we going to talk about?
Man, there's so much shit to talk about.
Oh boy.
You don't want to hear a random thought I had? And this is just diving kind of just right into the deep end. I was really thinking, I was sitting by myself and I was thinking about this podcast and I was thinking about topics and, of course we're going to dive into conspiracies at some point, but I was kind of stuck on the old UFO, alien topic. And then I started to think about aliens specifically. And then I went like, yo, do you know how wild of an idea it is to believe in aliens?
Not very wild.
It's super wild. Think about it. Here's where I got stuck. It's like you have these creatures that are like entirely different.
Are they entirely different?
Biology. Yeah.
Do they have eyes? Do they have heads, brains, fingers?
Agreed.
Legs?
Agreed. Just entirely different.
Their skin.
Conscious beings with like completely different biological features. Huge eyes. Big gray head.
Hold on.
Long 3 fingers, tridactyls. 3 fingers. No clothes. Naked. No private parts. Just all looking the same.
That's concerning.
Well, I'm just saying, like, and so I was thinking, is
it's
it like
a very stereotypical design of the UFO?
I tend to be pretty stereotypical with my alien talk, kind of grouping them all as one. I don't necessarily dive into the identities or how they identify, but I will tell you this. I think that it's so crazy to think that, well, first of all, it puts a hole in our whole entire theory of space. Unless they're coming from the oceans or they're coming from the Netherlands.
That's what they're saying that a lot of people do say that.
And you got to listen to them.
I mean, I don't listen to people, but I hear them.
But when they say it.
When people say stuff, it gets my brain going and I'm like, yeah, there could totally be a whole other species down at the bottom of the ocean that we don't know about.
We know nothing about our oceans.
No, nothing.
I think a lot of people think that we know way more about...
space.
We know a lot. I think that people think that we know a lot more than we do about Earth flat around. Like, I think that I was thinking of it today and I was like, I feel like I have at least a few brain cells. Like, I feel like I'm kind of intellectual. Yeah. And I was going around and I have some trivia for you. How big, comparatively, the United States to Pakistan? What is the size? Like, how big is Pakistan if you related it to something in America?
California and...
Pakistan. Well, I'm not really familiar with Pakistan, but my guess would probably be like the size of like Colorado, Utah, New Mexico, Nevada.
I say
like a chunk like that.
First of all,
Texas.
California's huge.
Texas, maybe.
I think that I looked it up, and I think it's an 11th the size of the continental United States. So not Alaska, but like our 48 states right there.
And
Really?
However,
that's a weird fraction.
did you know how big is Chile, South America? How long is Chile from one end, from the south end to the north end? If it was going east to west across our country, is it like the length of?
Do you know this answer?
Yeah.
So if you were saying if you were to start at California, how far east?
How far across America would you go? The USA?
Oh, Nebraska. Which is
No,
pretty
I'm
long.
gonna go further. I'm gonna say probably Illinois.
New York.
What?
Chile goes from LA to New York, the entire
That-
stretch of the United States. That's how wide, that's how long that country is. I was like, dang, I really don't know anything. Like, I really don't know anything.
I mean, we kind of.
Pakistan, back to Pakistan. I believe that it says they have, we should look this up while we're talking instead of me just spitballing, but I believe they said that they have roughly 25 or 30 million people. How big is China compared to the United
Oh,
States?
that's massive. I like kind of.
Right.
No, I'm
Just
being
the one-
dead serious.
No, we know.
It's almost all of North America plus some.
Like including Canada and
Yes.
Mexico?
Yeah, including Canada. I know. Yeah,
You
I-
know?
I don't know,
She said.
but I'm guessing.
I'm pretty sure China is basically the size of the United States.
I think it's bigger.
That'd have been my guess.
I know
It's
that
bigger.
Russia is enormous.
Russia's as big as North America.
I think
With
China
Alaska,
is
Canada.
bigger than.
We
the
can
United-
stop by thinking.
Can you Google how big in?
What are you doing?
I'm seeing how many people are in Pakistan.
Oh, yeah.
Pakistan.
We were just there 2 minutes ago, Zach. Keep up.
I have FOMO right now. Like, I don't have a phone.
So how much? How
Would
much?
you like
How
to use
big?
mine?
is
Pakistan.
China compared to the
Pakistan.
United States? Oh, there it is. Boom.
Pakistan has over 251 million.
Yo, America has 350 million. So think of that. Pakistan, in my head, is this, I mean, not small, but it's a
I
small
didn't know it was that big.
country. And it has 250 million. I can't believe I forgot a whole entire zero there. I said 25 million. It was 250 million people. It's literally 2/3 of America. And what's the size comparison?
What is?
Pakistan.
I got the China one pulled up.
What's China?
So United States is slightly larger. It's got 3.8 million square miles, and China has 3.7 million.
So they're basically the same size, just barely under us. That's crazy though, because when I think of
picture,
China, like, I don't know if you guys, when you think of it, but I think of Beijing, I think of the big centers, but I don't think of how big it is.
Mm-hmm.
Like, China is enormous. It's a huge, huge country. And that's all one country, you know?
yeah.
And so, like, I don't know. I was thinking of, how did we get to the size of...
I don't know. I'm still stuck on the aliens. But
Yeah, I think that it's wild to see. I think it's wild to think that aliens, how wild of an idea it is. Not even that anything, just that they exist.
I don't.
You don't think they exist?
No, I don't think that it's a wild idea. I personally think that it's very, it's crazy to think that there isn't any.
I'm not talking about them existing or not. I'm thinking of the idea of another biological species that has a whole entire homeland where all the other aliens are not working 9 to 5s, but for lack of better words, working 9 to 5s, because only the aliens that are coming here are their scientists or astronauts, right? Like, that's their ones that are the engineers, the smart ones that are flying across the galaxy or flying in and out of the ocean. Their regular aliens are at home smoking alien weed
Or
and
maybe,
fucking drinking alien
or
beer.
maybe they're the criminals and they get kicked out of their planetary system, and so they're
Yeah,
forced-
because we'd send our felons to fucking Mars. We wouldn't. But what I'm saying is, it's
Cool concept,
crazy
though.
to think. It's crazy to think that, like, sure, we think about UFOs, we think about aliens. The Greys abducted me. The blondes or the Nordics.
the goobacks.
The the Nordics, you know, that look like a blonde species, whatever they are, that they are like the not elites, but they're there are astronauts that are going to Mars, or there are astronauts that are going to the moon. There are SpaceX people or NASA people, you know, and we never think about the ones that don't get that special trip. Like we don't think about the ones that are just struggling to pay their rent back on.
Who says they have rent?
I'm not saying they do. What I'm saying is that, okay, so they don't have rent. They've mastered the economy and they just sit and philosophize. They just talk about other civilizations. They just talk about science. They just talk about maintaining their life on home planet. Whatever it is. There's a whole entire species, though, that's there. And they're obviously trying to leave or go look into the universe for some reason. We never think about that stuff.
It's because we're too busy thinking about, you know, commercialism and commerce.
And ourselves.
Mainly ourselves.
Yeah. For real.
But if we can get together as a people and just think about ways to better ourselves, I bet we could be a lot like them.
We don't even know what that means, that sentence. I was also thinking that, like, we think of, a lot of people think aliens are, like, mean, nefarious. A lot of people think they're nefarious, that they're coming to
Yeah,
take
they
a reason.
villainize them. Humans have villainized this other.
But it's like, we don't even got any villains going to
I was
space.
going to say, if that was the case, wouldn't they just come and wipe us
Maybe
out?
that's just
Not if they
projection.
needed us.
Maybe it's
I don't think
projection.
they would need us. They would need our planet, not us. What would they need us for?
Maybe they need a mechanic, Zach.
I wouldn't be able to work on their crazy spaceships.
I mean, I don't,
You ain't got the tools for all that.
you don't know.
Yeah, that's wild. I think that it's crazy. So I've gone down the rabbit hole quite a bit on the old UAP thing. I've followed Jeremy Corbell.
You told me about the times when you saw the UFOs in the sky.
I was also high, really high.
I don't think you were.
Yeah, I was, for sure. I literally, if you want to know a crazy story, that same night, if you
This
want...
was right before I took the flight to Iowa, and you're like, man, when you go out, there was like...
Oh, that was the orb. That was this year or this
orbs,
last year.
yeah.
Yeah, that was orbs, and who knows what's going on with the orbs. But let me tell you a crazy story. So I am... Sandra's taking McKinley back to Drew. And I am home with Sydney and Nevaeh.
Mhm.
And I'm in my room isolated because I'm using or whatever. And I all of a sudden just woke up on my bedroom floor. So obviously I had
Falling asleep.
fallen out somehow. And I woke up to Sandra calling,
I'll tuck her down.
and she was like, "Hey, I think there's weird lights over the mountain." So I was like, "All right." And so I walked out, and there was these 4 lights in a diamond shape that were not the regular lights. Like, we can all go outside and look at the sky, and I can see Orion's belt, and I can see, you know, just the regular stars that I'm familiar with. And these 4 were like way closer and just out of place. And I knew I was on one, but I knew the girls weren't. So I like went inside and I'm like, "Sydney, Nevaeh, come look at this." And Sydney came out, and to this day she has this memory, and she came out and she like started crying because we could all see these, no specific design or anything, but just these 4 lights hovering over the mountain. And that's the only time that I've seen really weird stuff, just 4 lights. That's it. But
Did it move?
they didn't do nothing. They just stayed there, and they were out of place. Like, they were just like, that's obviously something. It's something strange. Like, it was just out of place thing. Either way, I had the girls validate it for me because I'm like, I could be seeing anything right now.
Because you just woke up on the floor?
Dude, which never happened, dude. Which means that I did too much, and my body's like, nope. And I just woke up to Sandra doing that, and I'm like, oh, smokes, UFOs.
You lied. You said you've never passed out.
No, I said I've never fallen out. Yeah, who knows? You know, I might have just been
I
tired.
don't even know who you are.
Yeah, you're right. So I've gone down the deep dive with UAP, Lou Alessandro, Jeremy Corbell, or Corbell, Bob Lazar, all of these people, and I'm on that train. 100%.
I don't know who those people are.
Oh, how do you not know who any of those are? This is going to be fun. So, like, Jeremy Corbell and George Knapp. George Knapp is an old school journalist, particularly focused on Area 51, Los Alamos in New Mexico, which is a research laboratory. And he just kind of has documented it for like 30, 40, 50 years. A long time. Jeremy Corbell is a little bit younger. He's probably mid 40s, and he has done some really good interviews with Bob Lazar. Bob Lazar is just a super smart guy who was I guess, rocket scientist. He worked at Los Alamos Laboratory in New Mexico. He was one of the first to kind of put a jet engine on a car and do some crazy stuff with that. He was recruited by Area 51, whatever entity that is, to go study, reverse engineer UAP back in the day. This is like 90s, late 80s to probably mid 90s time frame. The cool thing about Bob Lazar is he's not the guy. He wants no attention. He wants no attention whatsoever. He doesn't like it. He's a hermit, but he got recruited to go work at Area 51. He knows a lot of the details. You can find like employee phone books or employee lists of the people that work there, and Bob Lazar's name is on there, you know. But the way that he explains it is they try to discredit you. So if you ever talk about what you see, there's obviously inherent risk to your life. They can blacklist you. They can control your credentials. They can kind of do a whole bunch of stuff. And Bob Lazar he claims that he went to, I believe, MIT. He worked at Los Alamos, but he had an affair with his wife, and they held that against him and kind of blackmailed him a long time ago. But his stories remained the same the entire time, and he talks about going in, and it started with like them giving him a book and him having to read all this stuff. And he said that all the research that he did is super compartmentalized. So you're never like looking at the whole UFO. You're never looking at the whole UAP. You're never looking at the whole project. You're just doing your study. You're studying how it turns on. You're studying how it floats. You're studying
Nobody knows
the metal.
the whole thing.
The metals. Everybody's doing their own thing, and then whoever is above them obviously could piece it together, but they keep it that way so that the whole secret can't get out, or that nobody can kind of know everything regarding it. And he claims that he believes they gave him the book, and it had what he was going to work on, which I think was the movement, the energy that would move it or whatever, in which he claims that this was before we had discovered element 115. And
what is that?
Element 115 is a element on the periodic table of elements, but if you can find a stable form of it, it is basically the power for the UAPs that would allow them to, so like the traditional flying saucer is the one that he said that he worked on, the traditional flying saucer, right. the top and the bottom and the disc. Yeah. And he said that the element 115 would go in there. I don't remember the exact name of it. You could probably look it up. But it would allow that ship to basically turn up. The bottom would face where you were going, and it would create I guess if you imagine like a ball on a bed and you put a bowling ball, how that would suck that other ball close to it. Okay. It creates its own gravitational field, which is basically pulling itself through space. It creates a void in the gravity, or it creates a gravitational pull that'll pull you through space, and you can go on. It's like a perpetual power, so it never ends, and it allows you to move through mediums, so air to water, space to air, whatever. And there's no visible form of energy being produced in the way of heat signatures, gasoline from the back, because all of our engines for cars and stuff have an exhaust. They have a heat signature out the back. Our jets, our cars, even electricity creates a heat signature. And the UAP have no heat signature. The Tic Tac video, which is Captain Fader or Faber. You know the Tic Tac video? That
You call it Tic Tac?
Tic Tac.
it's called the Tic Tac.
Oh, it's not TikTok.
TikTok's the streaming platform.
That's it.
No, Tic Tac. It looks like a Tic Tac. It looks like a little bead. But that's a whole different thing. Either way, Bob Lazar has the story of going in there. He has a story of seeing like a gray through a window, not really getting close to it. He has stories of when he went in and first saw the disc, and then they had the element, like the power module they were trying to reverse engineer basically, and he didn't know what was going on. Like, it was beyond our comprehension. I believe that they deduced through whatever that ship came from Alpha Centauri, which is the closest star system away from us, another sun in its planetary system. I mean, they have a lot of information, and all this is just like known, which is so wild to me, all of these details, because then we're just, question if they even exist or not. Either way, I've gone down the rabbit hole with aliens and UAP, and I think that it's just one of the most fascinating topics in existence. That doesn't mean that I've seen anything absolute. I've seen some weird lights outside that could have been just lights and lack of sleep or sleep deprivation. And I've driven all across the country at night just begging for any light to come to me, and I haven't got to see anything. And I'm always waiting for that. Do you guys know who Dr. Stephen Greer is?
No.
Dr. Stephen Greer is a guy who's been studying aliens and UAP since the mid-90s. He kind of fell into it. He has a pretty immense or crazy story as well, but he runs a program called CE5, Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind. And what Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind is where you actually request to see or request to have involvement with aliens, and then they come visit you. And you can download a CE5 app, and I actually have friends in Fort Collins that live just outside that do CE5 things at their house. We were going to go there, that one barbecue that I was going to go and do the stargazing thing. And so I have really good friends that do stargazing and stuff, and they do CE5, which is just interacting, like by request, not like Close Encounters of the First Kind. I don't know all the different kinds. You should look that up. Close Encounters of the Third Kind is when they visit you. Close Encounters of the Fourth Kind or Second Kind is when you get abducted.
I got element 115, by the way. It's Moscovium.
Yeah. Which wasn't discovered until later, which is a crazy part of Bob Lazar's story. As a matter of fact, there is a documentary by Jeremy Corbell with Bob Lazar, and I can't remember the name of it, but I think it's on Netflix. And if you go watch that documentary, it's wild. The FBI literally raid Bob Lazar's shop during that documentary looking for, they think that he's harboring element 115 at the time, and he claims not to or whatever. But it's a crazy story. It's definitely worth.
This here says it was founded in 2004.
Yeah, and Bob Lazar was doing research on it in the 90s, which is crazy.
It goes at the very bottom. It says something about pop culture and Bob Lazar, his claims and stuff. But you can tell that the answer that I got was not directed. They tried to go around that.
Close Encounters of the Fifth Kind?
Well, just what are the close encounters? So Close Encounters of the First Kind, I think, is just you seeing a ship. Close Encounters of the Second Kind is seeing an alien, maybe. Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
First kind, visual sightings of a UFO in the immediate vicinity, usually within 500 feet to 150 meters.
Second kind, a UFO event that leaves physical evidence or causes interference such as
Crop circles and stuff.
Yep, ground,
Scorch marks,
malfunctioning
indentations.
electronics, paralyzed witnesses.
Third kind is actual alien.
observation of actual occupants or alien creatures in or around a UFO.
Fourth kind is being abducted, I think.
Yep.
Fifth kind is direct bilateral communication between humans and extraterrestrials.
Which is crazy because they have what's called psionics.
Okay.
And psionics is these people. Have you seen anything on?
Is this where they communicate telepathically?
Yeah, they go in. I mean, they're basically in like a sleeping bag, and they put these eye things on, and they like meditate, go into a meditative state, and they communicate directly with these ships, which are actually like biological entities themselves, which is wild. So it's not that there's aliens inside or anything; it's that there's actual consciousness within these ships. And what's crazy is there's this company called Sky something. Gosh, I can't think of it right now. If you look up psionics and why can't I remember that name? It doesn't matter. But they have what's called the dog whistle. If you look up dog whistle for looking up UAP, they have a 100% success rate. They can make this frequency electronically that will literally bring UAP in every single time. And that's a crazy detail or fact that the public, I guess, doesn't really get privy to. And then they have psionics, which is like me going into a meditative state, asking for it to come, and they bring them in, and they've brought in like the egg. They've labeled 8 or 9 different types of UAP, ranging from the disc all the way to like they have like the jellyfish. Look up the 9 types of UAP according to Skydog. No, it's like Skywatcher. Yeah, look up the 9 types of UAP according to Skywatcher. They've labeled them and they've seen them all. They can bring them in daily at their beckoning call. It's really wild because we all think that
Orb spherical. Is that it?
Yep. So that's the Tic Tac. You have triangular, that's like the traditional triangle craft that you'd look at. You have disc, saucer, egg-shaped, metallic or light-based. Yeah, this isn't according to... Oh yeah, tetrahedron, transmedium or underwater, which is the manta ray, and it looks like I don't know, there's a whole bunch of them. Etheric, non-physical, which is just light or orbs. And then the Foo Fighters or the irregular, unconventional. So it's crazy, though, that they have all of these... Like Skywatcher is going out right now. It's ex-military people, and they got into it. They did classified operations in which they brought in crashed UAP and then brought them to Area 51 or brought them to these black bases that, were off the radar. Mm-hmm. And it's like, this is all going on, Like while we are debating whether or not UAP are real, it's like there are... First of all, Skywatcher is an organization for the people. They're not like a military or a military industrial complex company like Skunk Works or Lockheed or any of the big rich companies that have black budgets that kind of have control over the world. They're the ones that take in these crafts and reverse engineer them or do whatever. And I don't know. I think it's crazy. There's this whole entire subculture of UAP and disclosure, and most of the public have no idea about it. And on top of that, we're so distracted with society that, like, if I told you, I mean, all the stuff that I'm even telling you right now, which I consider fact, it's not even really doing anything to you guys. You're just like, huh? Which is crazy.
I'm taking it in, but yeah. All new stuff for the most part. I mean, I understand that there's stuff that goes on, but yeah, it's all new information, really. I mean,
that's wild because it's...
I've never heard of any of this.
I know, which is so crazy to me. There's so many... I have hundreds and hundreds of hours going down rabbit holes looking into this stuff, and it's like me trying to sum it up too with no plan of action, like nothing in front of me is like nearly impossible, dude, because I know these stories from these people that I can't even name. Like, I don't even remember them, but I've watched... First of all, I don't know if people are pro Joe Rogan or anti Joe Rogan.
You told me about that guy.
If you go to Joe Rogan...
The UFC guy, right?
No, Joe Rogan, yes, he commentates UFC, but that's just like... It's like saying the Fear Factor guy.
Yeah, the guy that leads the...
I'm pretty sure he does some kind of podcasters. Correct.
The largest podcast in the world. Maybe questionably the best interviewer of all of it that there is, but he's had guests on his show.
You told me about the guy, and he got like he came into contact with the alien species, and he was able to download the stuff into the dude's brain, and he knew
all of it.
He knew how to like rebuild something.
It was crazy. So that story, and I wish I could reference that guy's name, because it's the craziest, maybe the craziest, most real story of interaction with an alien. And he's talking about he was in the military, and they're on one of the bases in Nevada. I don't know if it was Area 51 or if it was Groom Lake or whatever it was, but it was one of the black sites or whatever. And him and I believe 3 other guys in his squad were driving on a dirt road, and they went over like a hill, and they saw a guy walking in military fatigues. And he said he got out of the vehicle just to make sure he's okay. And the first thing that he noticed was that this guy's eyes were like 2 or 3 times as big as a normal guy, but he looked like a human in the way of shape. He said, I think that the skin was like not translucent, but like different. It was like skin, but it just didn't look like our skin. But his eyes were just twice as big. And he's like, that was weird. And he said that he asked him if he was okay. And the guy didn't speak, but transmitted not only like, yes, I'm okay, but everything about his situation, emotions. He felt the guy's emotions inside of him. He knew that there was something wrong with the guy's ship. He knew exactly as if the guy downloaded the entire schematics of the entire craft and exactly what part was broken or needed to be fixed. And he said that he understood the entire craft, like as if he engineered it, as if he put every piece or component on that craft. He knew it. Like as soon as he was communicating with this being, he knew the exact kind of metal that he needed for the spot. And it wasn't even a native element to Earth. And the alien knew what he was thinking as well. And he knew it so well that when he got away from this experience, when he went back to the skiff, he drew out. Like it wasn't like a memory that dissipated. It was like still a very live, like he downloaded. He
now had this information in him.
All of it. And he said he drew it all out, and it was like, I don't remember the kind of metal, but it was like tritanium, like, or something. And it was 100% ESP. It was a downloaded file. It was like, I'm sharing with you my exact situation. This is what I need. And apparently he like guided him up the road or something. And then he got back in to the car. And this is actually an experience that multiple people have experienced. There was another guy who was a helicopter pilot for retrieval programs in the U.S. military to retrieve downed UAP. And gosh, oh, I hate it that I can't remember any of these names. Jake, maybe it'll come to me. But he retrieved an egg. It was just an egg-shaped UAP. And he said when he was flying it back, he started to cry. He could feel the emotions of that craft. He could feel the emotions of the downed craft. And it was like an emotional experience for him, which is what led him to start Skywatcher. He's the one. So I don't remember his last name, but it's Jake something. And long story short, there's all these experiences that are so supernatural and so crazy and so wild that it's like shocking to me.
Do you think that when we have these interactions with these beings, that these beings walk away and they're like, man, those creatures are dumb?
Well, so that was kind of my thought. I mean? It's like
they're able to just like transmit that to us, or they probably walk away. They're like, these people are.
But when you go study, like when Jane Goodall went and studied the apes in the jungle, or the gorillas in the jungle, do you think she left that and she's like, God, gorillas are dumb? No, she's studying them as like that being that entity obviously knew what we are, who we are. They'd studied us. They're literally observing us, or they're coexisting in secret with us, so they're that advanced, right? And if they're advanced enough to fly across the universe or fly in and out of our oceans, transmedium style, no, I don't think they look at us as dumb. I think that it would be like us observing cavemen and being like, those cavemen are dumb, bro.
That's what we would say.
Yeah,
We never look at.
They're way more advanced, is all it is.
They're
right?
just
because
advanced.
I mean, you can bring that back to it's not that we're only so advanced, and we continue to get smarter and more advanced every day, right? But like Akashic records, tapping in, right? We can do that. Maybe not on that level though.
I think that the way that we communicate, the way that we act around ourselves and around others, is the way that we were environmentally trained to do so. So like our parents communicate with us in English, we learn English, we're sponges, we're observational creatures. I communicate with my hands like I watched others do, whatever or however that works.
Mhm.
I think that for them to be like that, I think that they were just more intuitive in the way that they communicate, and they've always been able, like their parents communicated to them telepathically. You know, like I don't know what that means because my human brain doesn't understand it, but I think that their species as a whole, or wherever that alien came from, that is just the regular. That's just the way that he communicates. He's stuck on Earth, obviously, so he's needs some help, and he saw another being, and he's like, "Yo, I don't know your language, but I can do this," and explained everything in the most fundamental format, which then. I've had this thought in the past. So we have language barriers. Mm-hmm. If you put a Chinese man from China in front of me and you put me right here, mm-hmm. Here we go. Like I'm going to try to tell you a story and he's going to go, no idea, right? If you could communicate telepathically with ESP, truthfully, if I could share my thoughts with you.
Mm-hmm. Feelings.
Is that am I sharing my thoughts and feelings in English? Or if I can visualize what I'm trying to convey to you, if I'm trying to talk to you about the football game and who I thought was winning or whatever, and I was just sharing my thoughts with you, do you think you could receive that and understand my thoughts like this guy said he understood with that alien?
Yes.
In your language.
Because I'm thinking in my language and he's thinking in his language, but we're sharing our thoughts.
I believe so, 1,000%.
Right, that's really Absolutely. Cool though.
Because if he tried to transmit that to you in his language, then you wouldn't understand it. It'd just be like
correct.
You'd be lost.
So then back to our thought parasite, our language parasite. Is that just how we understand our thoughts by labeling them with words? Are our thoughts still inherently there, and we just think of them in English? You know, like are we just thinking in English or translating our thoughts in English? Or are my thoughts English thoughts?
No, I don't believe that.
Which part?
That your thoughts are English thoughts. I think that's a trained, taught thing that we learn. I believe that universally our thoughts are all the same. I believe that universally our feelings are all the same.
It's just translated into the language that you know.
That we can comprehend.
Right. When you talk
explain.
About... When you talk about, here we go, energy exchange, right? Which is the exchange of
energy,
energy and information and feelings, right? When you talk about those things, right? They're not exchanged in a language.
I believe, yeah, I'm with you.
They're not. It's just a knowing, right? It's just a universal knowing, and I don't think that changes because I step outside of the.
So do you think that language for us is just the subtitles of our thoughts?
Absolutely.
Yes.
It's how we can understand our thoughts or put meaning behind them or to...
Even to a degree, because I also don't feel that it's humanly possible to convey a true internal message or thought in full.
Yeah, you just translate it.
Yeah, and you give a rough overdraft.
It's weird that you have to translate your thoughts.
Right.
It's just like translating like your vision or your taste or your smell. It's a sense, you know what I mean? It's coming in and your brain has to make you understand it.
Allow you to understand
Allow
it.
you to understand it.
It's crazy that like if you're blind from birth and you have no visual acuity, like you've never seen a thing, it's like how do you dream? You know?
Mm-hmm.
You've never seen anything. Everything is quite literally imagination, but when you have nothing to compare it to, like a dog, you create a dog by just touching it and feeling hair and stuff, but like you don't get to see the dog smiling. You know what I mean? I don't ever get to see a smile, so it's just like explained what a smile looks like.
But if you can't see and all your other senses are heightened, when you touch somebody's face, I don't know because I'm not blind, but I would have to say that you would be able to map a pretty good picture in your head.
So you think that a blind person just by feeling your face could build what your face looks like?
For sure.
I don't know.
The only difference
That's wild.
The only difference is they wouldn't be able to color coordinate or
They don't know what color is.
Exactly. And so they would, which is crazy, right? Like how would you try to map somebody's face out? Like you can do the structure.
Even then,
the color scheme is all.
You don't care about color. You're truly colorblind.
But even then, you'd have shades, but they wouldn't even understand shades. You know what I mean?
How?
No, but what I'm saying is when you're feeling your face, bro, like you're feeling a face and you're rubbing the hairline and stuff, sure, you can like create where the hairline would be and where the ears would be, and you could put some sized ears on there. You could feel the cheeks and stuff. You could do okay building a face, but like you don't know what you look like, bro. You know what I'm saying? Like just from feeling your face, you don't know what somebody looks like.
No.
You can't because you can see.
Because I'd want to feel your teeth. Just feel your teeth, rub your molars.
Smile, you're just
What's this right here? What's this right here? Yeah. Nose holes. Like you're like gauging nose holes and stuff.
You're in there.
You're like feeling the inside of the ears and stuff. You're feeling the neck and the hairline. It's like in order to do it accurate, I understand that you want to see it a little bit. And touch the belly and be like, okay, you got a belly.
I still don't think feeling that you get an idea of what that looks like.
I think you can get an idea of what, like I could feel your nose and feel your nose and be like, different.
If you were to just close your eyes and feel your face, you don't think if you were in a dark room doing that and you don't have no sense of sight. You know, so your feeling sensations are way higher. You don't think you kind of have an idea of what you look like?
No, because
this feels so small.
When I did that, you know what registered with that? Smooth. It didn't not.
I know, but you have vision.
I know, but what I'm saying.
That's the whole. We can't do this.
Yeah.
It's impossible to do this.
Exactly.
But what I will tell you is, if you took 10 dudes and you put us in a line, and we turned out all of the light, like all of the light, and you went around just touching all our faces, the chances of you being able to like identify each person, I believe, would be the lower percentile. I don't think you're gonna like, that's Zach. I mean, I guess because you have a bun, you have a hair.
I think that would be the difference. Do you know the person or not? Because without sight,
well, of course senses, you know them. It'd be hard to identify people you don't know.
If you knew the people, if I took 10 of my closest friends, turn off the lights, and I touched their face, I would be able to know who they are.
I would absolutely agree with that. I believe that I would be able to identify
every single one.
Every one of them.
Not a mistake. I'd be able to identify every single one.
I absolutely would.
And I wouldn't even need to go all the way in. I think I could literally go like this, and I'd be able to know exactly who it is. For sure.
We're going to have to do an experiment.
I believe I could do that.
I believe in your belief, but I don't believe in the outcome.
I believe that wholeheartedly.
Bring it, dude. Bring it.
I'm down. I will definitely.
Guaranteed.
Yeah, I would love it.
You don't think so?
No. I think that I would like to say that I could, but I think that once I was actually like, I can't even feel my nose and be like, that's my nose. I haven't felt my nose. You haven't felt my nose. You've seen my nose, but I think when you're comparing feeling with sight, we'd like to believe that we could feel what something looks like, but I feel like beings...
I'd identify you straight through your energy.
That's where I was.
You don't get to feel my energy.
Why not?
Because we're silent standing there.
So you're telling me that if I go in, I can't feel the...
If I walk in there...
You're telling me that I'm not allowed to do that.
You're more than
what I'm trying to tell
dive
you.
into my energy.
Because I can
I could just touch the side of your face and I would know exactly who you are.
You crazy.
I absolutely agree with him.
I love your guys' belief. I would love to do this experiment.
I would get 10 out of 10.
We can review the results on the podcast for sure.
I absolutely wholeheartedly
10 out
It's
of
crazy
10.
that you think that it's 10 out of 10.
No, my ego wants me to say that I could do it. I think that once you start feeling everybody's nose, you're going to be like, oh gosh, is that like, I feel like I would be able to identify you. I don't think it's as easy as you guys are both 10 out of 10, 100%. I can feel anybody's face and identify them.
believe that wholeheartedly.
I know, you're literally trying to question, I'm not allowed to feel energy. Yeah, go up to a silent person in a pitch black room and tell me you're like, oh my God, your energy is Nyx.
I won't need
Yes.
to approach. I wouldn't need to approach them.
Without a doubt.
I would
What are
not
you
need
talking
I feel like I can get close to you in the dark and be like, Nick standing right here.
Right?
What are
There's
you,
certain people.
what are you talking about? What does that mean?
You can't when you. It's just like when
If
you
all
feel
your lights
somebody's
off around
energy
you,
approaching a median.
if you killed all the power in your
meeting,
house.
do you know that they were coming to the meet? Like you feel certain energies approaching, right or wrong?
I believe
No?
I believe that if I walked into your house and all the power was out,
You guys are talking at the same time.
and if you guys were sporadically placed all over your house, I think I could walk through and I would be able to tell if there was somebody getting close.
Okay,
So then you don't believe in energy.
That's the most crazy statement you've ever
Well, I'm
said.
saying if you say you can't feel people's energies, everybody's energy.
I didn't say that I can't feel people's energy. Never once. I
Saying
said
we can't
in
feel
pitch
people's
black when you're deprived of your senses and you don't get all of the regular stimuli that you're normally getting. So you walk into a pitch black room where you're disoriented because it's so black and you don't have smell, you only have touch. That's all you get is touch. I think that you guys think that these energies are just going to be like, I'm Sandra, I'm Sydney, I'm Nick. And I believe that you're going to be blind to a lot of the things that you guys think you're going to have. I think that just touching somebody's face with nothing more than your palm on their skin of their face, it's going to be much more difficult than you guys are putting on to get the outcome. I think that when you're more familiar with somebody and I have a little bit chunkier of a face and you're feeling Sandra's compared to mine, you could probably differentiate between the two. But I think if you took and I know that Scotty has a goatee, and I know that you have a bun on the top, so I could feel for those things.
This is what I'm talking about.
You talked about walking in and just being like, I know Nick's near me.
For sure.
No, but I don't believe that. So what I'm saying is, I think that if you took 10 dudes with beards and they were all at a 2, and you put us all into a room with a backwards cap on, and put us on bar stools or in a chair, so our faces were all the same height, I don't think that you would be able to differentiate the people. Of course, if you went Scotty, Zach, Nick, Sandra, Sydney, Shelly, and you got 10 people that we all know, well, then I'm going to be able to choose them all out because I know the differences between.
That's what we're saying.
You just said that we couldn't.
Yeah,
That's what we were talking about.
That is exactly what we're
First of all, she's talking energy. She's talking energy.
So is that.
That's not physical features.
So is that.
That's not physical features.
So is that.
I think we should run an experiment, man.
Okay, no energy. I believe wholeheartedly.
And if you put a hat on you,
Hold on. I bet we can further this experiment and put us in a lineup without touching somebody, getting close. I bet you can probably figure out majority of them.
what do you want to put on it?
I
just
would agree.
dignity
I
or-
agree.
No, I say we
agree.
just run an experiment.
I don't even want to do it with Shelly because she's going to realize that there's no energy field.
What? What?
So she's going to go 7
What?
and 7.
I know you're full of
In
shit
pitch
right
black,
now.
you think you're going to get close?
Because the light doesn't change the energy.
I'm telling you, I think you can walk by somebody.
I'd be willing to get me and Zach in a hallway and have you close your eyes and put a blindfold on, and one of us is on the left and one of us is on the right, and you couldn't come within 2 feet of us and say who was on each side. How? There's not like, you don't walk in blind and just know energies that's right in front of you. Like, oh, Zach, I can feel you over there, and Nick, I can feel you over there.
Just because you doubt it does not make it true.
Correct. And just because you believe it doesn't make it true.
Right, but I can wholeheartedly stand behind my theories and my beliefs and
I know.
what I've experienced. Right? Not a conspiracy. We're not talking conspiracy. We're talking truth. My truth.
What? Okay,
So you're trying
we
to
can go
break
back
down
and
my
forth with
belief
this
system?
rigmarole.
Whoa. So
Can't
you're
talk
trying
at the
to
same
break
time.
down my belief
Not
system?
ever. Never.
Because that's exactly what that sounds like, because you just told me that it wasn't true.
Breaking down my beliefs.
You just told me. Yeah, absolutely.
No, I'm
Not
saying when you walk in a pitch black room and Zach is on one side and I'm on the other side and we're silent and we're just standing there, I'm saying that if we were to do that 10 times and we switch sides back and forth, I think you think it would be 100% I could tell your energy. And I'm saying that it would probably be less than 50 or right at 50, that you'd guess it correctly. Guess it correctly. I'm not saying energy
you're
doesn't
saying
exist.
Okay, that's.
I'm
Guess.
saying...
So you're telling me I guess.
Listen.
Nope, you're trying to
That's
mix
what
my
you
words
just
up.
said.
Nope, I'm
You just
saying
said guess it.
because I think that just guessing is going to be about the same outcome as guess. I'm saying energy signatures dictating who is in the left side of the room and who is in the right side of the room. I think, this is just my thoughts, that you believe that you could tell as easy as seeing us.
I can.
That's an easy test.
Yeah, we can go back and forth with this rigmarole all day, or we can run a scientific experiment.
And that's what we're going to do.
Let's do
For
it.
sure.
Maybe not at this very second, but yes, we need to do this.
I agree.
We have to do this at this point.
Yeah, no matter what.
I'm done.
And I didn't
So-
say that your beliefs aren't there because I believe in energy. I do. I don't believe that feeling somebody's energy is as accurate as seeing Zach on that side of the room and seeing Nick on this side of the room. It's not as easy as touching a face of Zach or the man bun and feeling that I don't have a man bun and being like, that's Nick, that's Zach. Or feeling the size of us. Like the other senses, I believe, are more accurate than just walking in and feeling who's on the left and feeling who's on the right.
And that's okay that you have that belief, and you believe that, but I wholeheartedly believe differently, and that's okay.
Yeah, it is okay.
Yeah, I feel like we're getting right back into the same
Mhm.
conversation. We can argue about it.
Yeah, we'll
all
set up
day.
an
We could
experiment.
Probably just do that for.
That's so far-fetched, but the alien thing is not.
I didn't say that it's far. I believe it's far fetched. That's how I started it. How crazy it is to think that there's aliens. I literally started.
So you don't believe that they're aliens.
I believe that it's highly unlikely that there aren't.
So you think they're hold
Okay.
on? Do you think they're planetary, or do you think they're on our globe?
No idea. I know that the people that state that they know literally have, like, in their minds have proof of what planetary system they're from. Like they know what sun and what planetary system that they come from.
So let me ask you this. You just stated a little while ago a story about a guy who was walking through a desert who ran into a guy and he transferred all this information to him and he knew all this. And you believe that?
You're stuck on this. Yeah, let's go ahead and revisit it.
Just,
No, let's revisit it. So yeah,
just asking. So you believe
that alien could use ESP, yeah.
but you don't believe that we can differentiate an energy in a room?
That's not what I said. You keep mixing up my words. I know that you can feel dark energy. I know that you can feel positive energy. I know that I can get a bad vibe, and I know that I can get a good vibe. What I'm questioning is if we put two good vibes, two people we like, on two separate sides of the room, and you walked into a pitch black room, that what you're saying that you indubitably know for fact that Nick is over there and Zach is over there might not be the outcome of that study. That's all I said. I think that you think that your seventh sense is like feeling energy and that it's as accurate as your visual sense. That's what I'm saying. I don't think that I don't think that they're equals.
Okay.
That's it.
Okay.
And I'm not trying, I don't want you to think that I'm taking away from your belief or your
Because
energy.
I felt that.
I know
Yeah.
you're feeling attacked and I'm not attacking you whatsoever.
It very much sounded like you were trying to break down my beliefs.
Never.
That's exactly how I came across.
No, fair enough. And I'm not, though.
Okay.
I promise.
Because that's what it.
I promise I'm not.
Sounded like, and
All right.
Not at all. I'm not trying to take you. I'm only in this specific study that we would do.
we're going to do that.
I think that
We gotta do it.
I think that the data
I'm very.
would show. I think that out of us three, you would probably have a better energy read than me or Zach because you live in that energy. But I don't think it would be as accurate as 100% when I walked into a room and I saw Zach over there and I saw Shelly over there, that I'm like, that's obviously Zach, that's obviously Shelly. And I don't think that with energy, it would be that accurate. That's it.
I don't think it'd be as immediately, like, you know what I mean? Like, you could turn and see somebody. If I were to walk into this room and it's completely dark, I think I would have to, like, get close and kind of walk over here. But I think I could probably identify you too, for sure, without touching you.
Mm-hmm.
I think so.
Great. I love it. I love it. I love it. I can't wait to do the study.
Yeah, we should probably do the study.
I absolutely believe you could as well.
Isn't going to get us anywhere.
I know. I love that you guys could do that. I don't think that I could.
You can too. That's
because your feeling senses aren't as sharp as Shelly and I's.
Right.
And that's all right.
It's all right.
It's okay.
Yeah, it's okay not to
You
be.
can probably
good at that.
smell us better, and you can see us better, and you can hear us.
I don't know.
I could definitely probably see better. I mean, I'm just being. You have readers, I don't. I mean, there's just a fact on that, so I know that. But that's not that's not to take away that we're stuck. We can go anywhere but this right now. We're just stuck here. Anyway, it's pretty wild. The UFO, the UAP, the whole disclosure thing. Right now, it's in Congress. There's UAP task force that's literally going and looking into all of the black budget companies. They're trying to get the information out because Eisenhower, if you go back to whenever Eisenhower was in office, the 50s or 60s.
I think it was 40s and 50s.
Way back when he was leaving office, I think in that final speech, he said something like, fear the military-industrial complex so that we keep them in check. Because I think that our government is supposed to be the ones that are in control and distributing the information to the people, and our tax dollars, we should know where they're being spent. And when you have Lockheed Martin and you have Skunk Works and you have these private companies that are doing research in the aerospace field and they're reverse engineering stuff and we're not in the know, yet they're using our money on things that we can't track that money, that spending. And then you look at our budget and there's all of these billions and billions, hundreds of billions of dollars that we have no record of how they're spent, and they're going to these privatized companies. It's like these companies have all the control. They literally have the equipment. They literally have the scientific studies on it. They have the science of how they operate, and our military doesn't have them. You know what I mean? And then you talk about nefarious or villainous actions. It's like if Skunk Works or Lockheed Martin or Boeing or any of these big companies reverse engineered a UAP that can travel through the stars and travel through the oceans and disappear and cloak and all this stuff, who are you really, like, who has control over you? If you truly have that device, if you truly have that ship, if you truly have that vehicle, you have control over the entire world. You know what I mean? And so it's like Eisenhower's warning is 100%. Like, how do you regain control of it? How do you get Tony Stark in control if you're like the United States military? And he is Iron Man. And you can fly around and just fucking shoot lasers and do stuff. Like, how do you regain control over that? Needless to say, what if Russia got control? What if China got control? An adversary that reverse engineered a UAP, and
so it almost makes you wonder that they don't have control, that they don't have that technology.
I think we would know if they did. I think, like, if
that's what I'm saying,
Putin or whoever had something like that, I think that there would have been like some sort of interaction. I do know that, like, multiple times in America specifically, as well as international, our nuclear arsenals have been deactivated by UAP that come around and literally say your nukes don't work right now. Also, every single time, there's weird stats that show that every single time a nuclear arsenal is moved from location to location, like if it's built and gets moved to the bases at Warren and Cheyenne or wherever, there's sightings nearly every single time of UAP in the skies or around them. Like, it's like they're always there. And I think the consensus would be that they're making sure we don't blow ourselves up. You know, like if somebody's about to shoot a nuke,
You think they care that much, huh?
I think that if we were observing, let's say we were thousands of years ahead of us, and we were observing a planet that had all of the technology that we have. We have people sitting in rooms creating podcasts. We have bankers. We have scientists. We have these whole entire communities all over this marble or this flat plane or whatever it is, and they're all doing their own thing, but they're also battling, and you're watching that. I think that, like, if you were truly observing scientifically another species that was about to level up or go into space travel or get to that next spot, you would stop them from just blowing up. Like a Goldilocks planet, one that can actually sustain life, and it has temperatures that we can survive in, and there's oxygen that we can breathe, and you have oceans and you have everything. I think that although there's unlimited options, I think that when you find one and you're at the level that we're at, where we're not dumb, like we're not cavemen, like throwing rocks and stuff.
I misspoke.
Like we're advanced. They're just more advanced. Right. And so I think that if we were about to blow up, or multiple, like mutually assured destruction, where countries are just sending their nukes off, which is a huge fear in the nuclear world. I think that if you had the ability to just go, nope, and deactivate it, you could stop time. I mean, because the U-15, the 115, element 115, whatever that was, the theory is that it stops our time space. It goes outside of our time space. Like, it doesn't operate within our constructs. It bends gravity. It can go from here to there instantaneously. It's going from 60,000 feet to 50,000 or 50 feet over the ocean instantaneously in a snap. We don't even see it move. It looks like it's teleporting. It's like this technology is so advanced that I think we're the deer with the smartphone. We're the monkey with the smartphone. Like, we can't understand it. And I think that, of course, if there was nukes and they could just turn them off, they'd be like, nope, you guys can use your little guns and knives and stab each other.
But that's it.
That's it. You can even drop some bombs, localized bombs, but you ain't fucking each other up. Like, you ain't taking out whole entire...
You can take out Vietnam. That's it.
Even in Vietnam, though, it's just guns. You can kill as many people as you can with them guns. Agent Orange. Yeah, we dropped bombs, but like blanket bombs and stuff. We fucked them up. They fucked us up. We had a lot of deaths that was unnecessarily, but like not as much as like blowing up New York City with a nuke. Killing 20 million in a fucking,
one fell swoop.
Yeah. And so I think that if you had the technology to be able to stop that, you probably would.
Yeah, I suppose.
Probably. Or like if you had like two groups of feuding guerrillas, and then like one of them like had two AKs, it's like you'd be like, give me the gun.
I don't know.
And you just jack the guns and let them go back to ripping each other apart.
I'm pretty sick. I'd probably just let them.
You know what I mean, though?
I'm
like
just kidding.
But you'd like stop it. You stop fights on the playground. It's like we'd probably stop fights on the playground.
Yeah.
I just think the UAP phenomenon is wild. It's crazy. It's funky. It's different. It's not understandable. Like, we can't comprehend truly what it is because it's a higher power. It's bigger than us. It's obviously like good enough to come from wherever it came from and monitor us and look at us and then disappear with us going, saw something.
Saw that.
And then it just,
I'm lost.
What's your take on UFOs or UAP or aliens?
We'll start with, do you think they exist?
Yes.
Where do they come from?
Mm-hmm.
Where did they come from? Where did they go?
I don't know.
Where did they come from, Joe?
And are they like technologically advanced to where it's like, like I can get to Vegas in a few hours? Do you think that they like
have a little teleport machine?
I when I say that, I say I believe that they exist. I believe that there is life on other planets. I believe all of that. Do I know that they've been here? I'm not convinced of that.
Yeah. I think it's the Fermi paradox. The Fermi paradox is like, if they exist, why don't we see them? Why don't we see them in space? Why don't we see them in NASA? Why don't we see them? Yeah. Like, why aren't they just there? Like, if there's unlimited options, like, why don't we see them? I think that's the Fermi paradox. But on the other side of that, if it's truly infinite, all right, and we're going back to space being real, and you have our sun, and then you have Mercury, Venus, Earth, Mars, you have our planetary system. And then every star that we look up and see in the sky is just its own planetary system with like that star is its sun, and there's planets that are orbiting every single star in the sky that we can see, and then the ones that we can't see because we're only able to see this like fractile of a 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 percentage in our little arm of the Milky Way, which is just one galaxy of billions of galaxies, which is it's so big.
Yeah.
Have you ever seen like the model that they have when they're like zooming in? They go all the way in. Like we're pretty minute. It'd be
If that's
really
real.
It'd be really hard to find. Yeah,
I know, but it's just so crazy. Like, how do you even? I always wonder how we even get a vision. How do we even get a view of what the Milky Way looks like? We're in it. We've never been outside of it. So how do we even get like a 3D rendering of what it could even be like?
Is it Hubble? Is that?
Which is just now barely leaving like our.
It's got Wi-Fi. It shoots the signal back to us.
Yeah, billions, hundreds of millions of miles
Through no air.
through no air, no power source, just like power source from when did it like when
In the 70s?
yeah, bro, it's been going 56 years
Long
out.
time.
I know. And
Free me. Like prior to my
no, that's what I'm
birth.
saying. And it's just going straight at thousands of miles an hour
With an
and
alkaline battery, probably.
solar just recharging
Solar.
and right, they didn't even have solar. Like what am I saying? Like how does this
Every
even
planet
working?
passes. It's like,
That's what I'm saying. So it's like when I think about it, it's like sure, whatever. But even then it hasn't like that's just so if you look at our star in the very little wing of the Milky Way, it's like it's barely gotten out of our solar system. Like it's like at Pluto or like like it's not even like
Is it? I thought it was way far.
I don't think look it up how far it's gone. I don't think that it's like gotten it's not like
What's
at
it
the
called
center
again?
of our
It's,
galaxy.
The Hubble
Yeah.
Hubble satellite?
Yes.
Wasn't it the thing that they shot out into the sky?
Yeah, it's just
Yeah,
going.
it's not Hubble though. It's
It's not the James Webb.
it's
It's not Artemis but it's something like that. It doesn't matter, but it's like it's only gotten like I think just outside of our solar system.
What would you call it?
no, oh god, it starts with a P.
What's the name of the
Telescope.
that they launched into space?
Yeah, in the 70s. Or look at what telescope observed Saturn's rings.
Oh, it's an O or a P.
Either way, it's not very far comparatively.
Copernicus?
Nope.
No.
Copernicus, not Copernicus.
The main space telescope launched in the 1970s was the Copernicus satellite.
Copernicus.
Stop doing that.
Well, you're saying it wrong.
No, I feel like you're saying it wrong.
Copernicus
Sounds
No.
way
was
better
a
than
philosopher.
It's
Okay. Copernicus was launched. You're doing it again.
I'll think of it in 2 seconds.
It was launched in August of 1972,
No, that's not it though.
studying ultraviolet and X-ray light for 8.5 years. There's the Hubble telescope. It was in 1977.
Where's the Hubble
Voyager
at?
1 and 2. Voyager 1 and 2 launched in 1977. These were probes designed to study the outer solar system.
Say, what's the furthest telescope away from Earth that's still sending feeds back to
There's
us?
the Einstein Observatory launched
No.
in 1978.
No, it's like the. We're
And
stuck.
the Apollo telescope
Nope.
now on Skylab 1973. What else do you want? You want more information?
Yeah. Either way,
I know what you're talking about, and that's not. None of them are the names of the telescope.
What do you want me to ask?
Um,
Say what you want me to ask.
what's the furthest satellite from Earth that's still sending feeds back?
Voyager 1 is the farthest human-made object and satellite from Earth still sending signals, located over 15.9 billion miles
Yeah.
away from as of February 2026, which is now. Launched by NASA in 1977. What kind of batteries that thing got?
Well, it's not. I mean, it has to, but it doesn't. It can't.
And how does it send signals?
Right.
What kind of technology is that?
15.9 billion. We can still receive signals.
That's not true. Look at this thing. Look at the picture of it. Does that look real?
Well, no, there's nothing to take a picture of it. Like, how would you even
Well,
get
of
a
course
picture?
they did. Look, somebody took a picture of it. Look, it's right there, and it's got the
That's what I'm
rings of our
saying,
solar
dude. That's
system.
what I'm saying, dude. It's so wild. Either way, though, 15.9 billion miles. So, what is the span of the Milky Way?
Approximately 100,000 to 200,000 light years in diameter.
How many miles is that?
Well,
I mean, it's got to be trillions.
I don't think you can put it.
So that's what I'm saying. And then we have images of the Milky Way.
You have to know the speed of
Correct.
light.
Correct. That goes in a year.
That's an insane.
It takes 6 seconds. I think it takes 6 seconds for the sunlight to get to our eyes.
So help me remember some of this down, okay? So, new estimates suggest that the galaxy extends nearly 2 million light years across. Okay.
2 million light years.
Okay.
So you don't even need to go any further, dude.
Let's check this. What's the speed of light? Okay. Which is
What does that even mean, dude?
speed of light.
2 million light years?
What is that? That's the speed of light? No. Yeah, 300. Yeah.
300 million per second.
And now you're talking 200 million light years.
Yeah, so it's just this number that we can't even fathom, that we can't even get to. You know? Like, it's just too big. And we have seen what the Milky Way looks like. I also wonder this. So when I think of like flying through the universe, I think of it on this lateral plane. Like you're just going to go either out to Pluto or towards the sun, or like I never think of like, okay, so what's just up? Like here's the sun, here's Pluto, here's Earth. Like
The other way?
go up or down.
Yeah, you don't want to go that way.
Why?
Because you'll hit nothing, man.
What do you mean you hit nothing? There's going to be equal amount of stuff everywhere, right? Like why is it just this way? Is it from
That's
this?
just what, yeah. It's, yeah. Yeah, we just spin collectively through the galaxy.
And then it's weird because you'll have like the Milky Way that's like, you know, a spiral galaxy. And then it's going this way. And then there'll be this galaxy over here that's like floating and doing its own thing. And then you'll have this galaxy way down here. And it's like, how are we seeing any of these galaxies? Because like, they're so big, dude. They're 2 million light years, which is a light year. Do you know what a light year is? It's the amount of distance that light would travel in a full year.
Yes.
Which
That's
is
insane.
And it's so much. Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's so the speed of light moving at full speed
For a year.
which is like it's just a number my brain can't hit.
Which is probably why they use it.
Right, because it makes me feel, well, it's just, you can't ever disprove or prove it because it's like, it's so grand. Plus, you can't even do simple math with it because it's like 300 million miles a second.
You just have the
That's crazy.
calculator can't even put it in.
And then the Milky Way galaxy is
300 million miles a second.
Yeah, so then the Milky Way is 2 million light years. So the distance to get from one edge to the other would take the speed of light 2 million years.
That's crazy.
It's not even what does that even mean?
Like, how
What
did
does
they
that
come
mean?
up with that?
Right. Okay, back to they. Oh god.
Yeah, how do they
So
measure
they
that?
don't. So this is my whole thing.
We're guessing. We're throwing stuff out there.
And especially out of man's brain. Like you didn't have this like
Just
book where you're like, let me
something
reference this
drafted.
distance. This is just created by man. And like the Pythagorean theorem, I can figure out what the length of a hypotenuse is. If I square A and I square B, this is C squared. That's Pythagorean's theorem. So I can figure out the distance of any one of those edges so long as I have the other two. And that's just a mathematical equation. But it's like, when I'm trying to figure out the distance from like us to Mars, what math could you possibly use? Because it's all perspective and we don't even know where we're at. So how can we even, and then it's, you know, you look up at Mars or any planet that they say is a planet that we buy into, and it's just this little
What? Now your question.
new idea for a minute later. Yeah.
What?
I quite literally question anything outside of our sky. I mean, like I'm talking the moon, the sun. I'm not. I understand.
Personally, I question everything that I can't. Yeah.
I can feel that this is a ball.
If I have to take somebody's,
It tastes like
word,
red.
If I have to take somebody like a scientist's word on it,
Not even that. I can take
that. just to play with the idea. I'm going to challenge.
I can take a scientist's word when it's a study that realistically I could recreate. However,
Like if the moon emits cold energy.
there's so much data now with all the telescopes and camera and the powers therein that we can do and see of our skies. I had a guy that worked for us, and he had a really nice telescope that he could track, digitally through his phone and take pictures of the planets. And I saw his pictures of like Saturn. Pretty cool, because it looked like Saturn. Like it was like, dang, that's like what I saw in my science books when I was a kid. I saw it. Rings.
You saw it on his camera.
That he took, pictures that he took. And it was pretty cool. I was pretty impressed by it. There's a lot of amateur space junkies that document the stuff. However, that's our solar system. We can look at what we call planets, which I think planet in Latin is wanderer. They're the only things that wander through space, like orbit. Everything else is static. The stars are static. The stars don't move. The stars are where they're at in our sky. You can look, the Georgia Guidestones, you could look through them and see exactly where things were when it came to the stars. When we start to go into the theoretical science of our universe, we don't know shit. Period. For anybody to look at me and tell me the gases that make up a star that's millions of light years away because of wavelengths or looking at infrared cameras and stuff, dude, go F yourself. Go F yourself, dude. Like it's so like you're telling me what's in a jelly bean from across the globe, dude.
I can tell you what's in the jelly bean.
I know, but you're like look at it. Like when you look at do you ever just look up at the stars and you just see it and it looks like a cop car? Like it's just flickering and it's going red to blue. And
The hot.
Tell me what your science book told me. Because this is what everybody believes.
Cold stars.
This is what your science books told you, right?
Well, I mean, I didn't really have science.
But where'd you learn that?
I was taught that.
Correct.
Right.
And I was taught that. And
I was taught that.
right. And we're taught that out of our science books. Right? Rand, whatever school books that told us that. And we're told that Earth is round, and we're told that we're 250,000 miles away from our moon, and we're 93 million miles away from our sun, and our sun is exponentially larger than we are, and we orbit it, and our moon orbits us, and we're flying through space at this speed, and we know all this stuff. But to actually buy into the idea that we know this stuff is just wild to me.
Not buying it.
There's no way. There's no way.
How far away is the moon?
247,000 miles away.
Yeah, man. I mean, you can go out there and, like, on a good night, when it's a full moon, like, sometimes you don't even need a telescope, and you can, like, see the moon. You know what I mean? Like you can see all the little dots.
The craters.
I can see the texture of the moon almost better than I can see, like, the mountain when I look at Horseshoe.
Correct.
And then I can get I can get my phone. You can get the S20 Galaxy, and you can take a picture of the moon.
Especially not trying to plug the iPhone on that one.
And see, well, because the camera on that
Galaxy's is better.
No,
Gotcha.
well, actually, if you look into it would autofill. It would autofill the texture of the moon. It would like.
I bought that phone.
The camera that would zoom in on the moon, it was called the Moonshot.
Yeah.
It would once you found it, it would I don't know if it was AI, but it would impose the texture of the moon.
I bought that phone simply for the camera, and it was not that good.
Either way, you can go buy a telescope. We can go buy a telescope right now, and we could look at the moon, and you can see the texture of the craters, and you can see almost to the point. This is crazy too, and I don't know if we weren't talking about this on the podcast, but like I was telling Zach, so I can go buy a telescope on a full moon, and I can look at the moon, and I can see what I would call the bottom of the moon, and I can see what I could call the top of the moon. And it's like, if let's just say that the moon was colonized. So there was people that lived on the bottom, like the Antarctica of the moon,
Okay.
and there's people that lived on the North Pole of the moon.
Okay.
Okay, and I zoomed in on those communities. The people on the bottom would be upside down.
Right or wrong?
I mean,
If you were to zoom in with the telescope,
And the people on
You'd
the
be able
right
to
side
see-
of the moon
you'd
would
be able
be
to-
sticking straight
there's
out.
no gravity on the moon, so
There is.
would be.
There is gravity. There's 1/6 of the Earth's gravity. There's no atmosphere. But I'm not talking about that. I'm not talking about the gravity or
you
anything.
should be able to see.
Let's say we landed a ship.
better.
Let's say we landed a ship on the right side, the bottom side, and the top side. And we watched them all land. So I saw this ship come in from this side, and I saw this ship land this way, and I saw this ship land this way. And then we watched the astronauts get out of each ship. Because I'm zoomed in on 3 different, like we have 3 TVs, and each one is zoomed in on the top, so I could see the astronauts leave the ship, and I could see these astronauts leave the ship, and I could leave
From our perspective, the ones on the bottom would be upside down.
getting out with their feet on the moon, and it would be right side up to them because they would be on the top.
Yeah,
Of
because
the
their feet
moon.
would be down. That'd be a feeling.
So now let's go to the moon, and we're gonna take the same telescopes, and we're gonna zoom in on South America's tip.
Which would be easier
We're
to
going
see
back to
Earth.
flat Earth right now, aren't we?
No.
Okay.
All we're doing is doing a scientific study against heliocentric model. And so we zoom in on, so the Earth is spinning. Let's not even talk about the top and the bottom. Let's just talk about the left and the right. So the Earth is spinning. Okay? We're watching it spin at 1,000 miles an hour, one rotation every 24 hours. And we have a camera zoomed in on the left, and we have a camera zoomed in on the right. Exactly to the axis of the equator.
Okay.
Okay, and we're just watching that.
Okay.
We're watching all of landmass come. So we just see a whole bunch of people like doing it with like this, right? And they're all doing that. Hypothetically, we should be able to see these people with their heads right here and these people with their heads right here.
No.
What do you mean?
No, you'd see something
How not?
different.
That is exact. What do you mean? You
Well,
have
how
to.
would you see it? Everybody standing up like
What are you
this?
talking about? Everybody's vertical?
Everybody's facing this way.
Why is it touching the ground? Your feet are on the
planet.
planet.
Yeah.
Your feet are on the planet. These are my feet. And I'm just jumping. We're just jumping.
Planes taking off like
Yeah,
that.
you'd be able to see planes flying like this
boats,
around.
boats,
Sideways.
ships like this.
Would you not? You'd be able to go around the outer, like if I zoomed
I
in.
cannot with this.
No, time out. If
Explain
I
yourself.
zoomed in and I just tracked the outer circle of Earth, I'd be able to see little humans with their feet on the ground and their hands in the air like this all the way around the globe.
I can't. with-
I'm being dead ass.
I know you are. That's why it's hilarious.
I know.
Like,
But it's right though, right?
no.
Why?
I don't know why, but no.
Then how would they be? How would they be oriented?
I don't know, but when somebody tunes in, they'll let us know.
What do you perceive it as?
There's no other alternative.
What do you
That's the way
mean?
it
That
be.
would be quite literally it.
That's how everything is.
When you
everything's
look-
out.
Pull up
Okay, then what's your explanation?
that's not the way that it is.
Then tell me how it is.
I think that, okay, I'll go
Flat.
crazy. I think that we are on, whether it's an infinite plane or a fixed limit plane,
Fixed limit.
I think that we are it, and everything is what is going around us. And even that is crazy because I think that the idea is too big for me to even try to say what it is. I just have these thoughts that make me go like, that's a pretty weird thought. Like
You
the
believe
one,
in logic. You have
a logical, pragmatic approach.
Yeah.
And I think that if you were on the moon, have you ever seen the Earthrise? The video of Apollo 11 when they were filming it, flying back to Earth.
Yeah.
And you see the crescent Earth.
Yeah.
Super realistic. But it's like in that film, given the right telescope, you'd be able to go to the right side of Earth and zoom in and see a building shooting straight out to the right. And you'd be able to go to this side and a building would be going straight out to the right because the land is rotating flat on Earth, the round marble, the blue marble.
that all the
I
while?
hear you.
I don't think that you're.
No, I really do hear you. I'm.
It's hard to comprehend. It's hard to visualize.
I'm seeing like
I don't
the
know if you
buildings
are.
that I'm looking at Earth in my third eye.
And those buildings are just doing this in rotation. They're just like the building. If you're looking at Hawaii out in the ocean, and you're zoomed in, and it's on the left side, this building is sticking out this way. And then as the Earth rotates, it's going to be sticking out straight towards you. And then it's going to go this way, and it's going to be sticking straight out this way. And it's rotating around, connected to Earth, like this. Now, if we went to the bottom, where it was rotating,
It would be
my perspective would be you are upside down as fuck. And up here, you'd be right side as fuck. And right here, you'd be at an angle.
everything would be out. Like
Everything, the center is into the center of Earth. Right? That's gravity. It's all sucking the mass into the center of this ball. So no matter where you're at, you're sticking straight out, no different than a spiked ball. So on paper, I should be able to zoom in and see a soccer game of people up here, and zoom in down here and see an upside down soccer game. And above that soccer game, in their perspective, would be a plane flying upside down here.
Maybe that's why you can't. It's the Antarctica.
You're missing it.
No.
We're not talking about
No.
Okay, so go to the top.
Goes under there,
So go to the top where we fly over everything, and let's just do that.
North Pole.
Correct. And you're going to watch this plane that starts right here, and it's flying up because it's on the right side of the globe. And it's going to fly up and then to the top, and then it's going to start flying down. From like Mexico to like India.
Mm-hmm.
It's going to fly up and over. And you're going to watch this plane fly up and over the arch on paper. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
There's still going to be upside down people in Australia and in the southern tip of South America. Like down here, even though it's not Antarctica, you're still going to see.
Upside down because of gravity.
I don't know what you.
Of
What?
course, they'd be upside down.
There, from my perspective, when I'm standing on the moon looking at the entirety of the blue marble, I see everything. Like if I zoom in on the Earth right now, or on the moon, I can see the craters at the bottom of the moon, and I can see the craters at the top of the moon. If I'm on the moon and I'm looking back at Earth, I can see Antarctica because it's just spinning right here on the bottom, and I can see the North Pole, and I can watch Hawaii.
We are on the moon, and you're zooming in on Australia. You should.
They're all
see
upside down.
An upside down person.
Every one
You'd
of them.
see the kangaroos jumping
I mean-
upside down.
How would you not?
I hear you, and I can see that. It just still doesn't logically. It actually more logically makes sense.
I would say that
But
logically it doesn't make sense the way I'm explaining it. On paper, you can make logical sense of it and be like, yeah, that's the way it should be. But the truth is that even from the ISS floating around the space station, you should be able to look down and up and see the bottom of the globe and the top of the globe, perspectively. You should be able to. Like you're not just seeing a section of Earth. You should be able to see the top horizon and the bottom horizon. You should be able to see this ball. You should be able to see Earth. You know what I mean? You should be able to see this overall view of Earth.
Right.
And I think even from that perspective, when I'm looking at the bottom horizon, everything should be upside down from my perspective. Everything. Right?
Yeah.
On paper?
Yep.
But every view that we get is just a zoomed in view. Like I can see what land is below me. Like I can see I'm over Colorado and I can zoom in on Colorado and I can see a top perspective of it. Which is like all I want is a view from an astronaut of an actual picture, not a layered composite. I want just like an iPhone picture of Earth. Like just take a fucking picture.
So here's the problem with that is like even if they did take a picture, you wouldn't be able to see the things that you want to see because we are so tiny. It's just like searching in on Google Maps. Like you really have to get in there before you even start seeing cities.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But on paper, you can zoom in on Google Earth. All the way to the point, like if I was looking
Yeah,
at,
you go all the way down to Street View and everything.
and I should be able to see them all upside down. I should be able to zoom in all the way down to the bottom and be able to be like, yep, there's fucking Australians upside down. Live. I should be able to do it live.
Yeah, I think the problem with that is because satellites, what they take, Google Maps with,
Satelloons.
Anyways, as it's coming around, it's always gonna feel like that's down. As it's coming around, you know what I mean? Like you could come in around the top with the bottom like that. Everything's gonna feel down, so everything's gonna look. You're gonna be coming across everything like that.
Yeah, everything's below you, technically.
Yeah, you'd have to really get out to the moon,
Which we can't.
which we. I mean, we did it. They say,
Artemis should be going any day. No.
No, I know that.
but we damaged their technology, and it's a painful process to get it back.
And we deleted the footage, dude. That's so sad, dude.
Yeah.
The biggest monumental thing that humanity has ever done, and we're like, ah, shucks, we made space for just clouds and stuff. We fucking forgot that shit. I don't know where it went.
It's a painful process to get it back.
And then modern astronauts are like, well, we've never been able to get outside the Van Allen radiation belt. And it's like, back in the 60s we could, but...
I mean, for me, as a logical person, it's got to have some sort of barrier, because if there's a vacuum of space...
So I looked into this. I did research.
How are you going to... Gas dissipates. It's a law of thermodynamics. Everything dissipates.
I guess it lessens until it gets to a vacuum. So the way they say that is gas pressure. This is how they...
You have to have gas pressure.
And they say that, like, at sea level, it's 14.2 psi. If you go up to, like, Denver, it's 12.2 psi. At the top of Everest, it's like 4.1 psi. And when you get up where you have to have pressurized planes and stuff in the sky, it's like 2-point-something psi. And then when you get up to where the Go Fast diver jumped from like 120,000 feet or whatever.
Red Bull
guy.
That was crazy.
I think it was Go Fast.
It is Red Bull.
Either way. Energy drink guy. He jumped from space.
Which is nuts.
Pretty fucking crazy, dude.
That's nuts.
He got into the death spin and everything and made it. That's wild. That guy has a death wish, dude. That's crazy. Especially when he's jumping and you're like jumping from blackness. You're like,
He just rode up a balloon. Could you imagine how crazy that would be? You just ride up in a chair with a balloon all the way up, and you're just like, I'm going to jump from Earth's atmosphere. I'm going to
26 miles up or whatever.
Skydive from space. That's crazy.
Yo. From dark.
Yeah.
He jumped from black.
I bet it's cold as fuck up there.
He's in a full-ass suit, though.
Whew.
And then he started flat spinning, and he lost consciousness, and then woke up. He's like, oh, I better pull the thing, dude. Whatever, dude. That's wild. Yeah. So, like, I just think that, here's what I know. Here's what I don't know. I actually realized I don't know anything. But what I do believe is that what we're taught is not the truth. And that's really the only thing that I know is that I don't know.
You just know that they lie about the truth.
I know that it's not true what they said, period. And I don't know what that means. I don't know if there's a firmament. I don't know if we're around. I'd love to believe that we're this spinning ball in space and that we could travel the cosmos. But that concept is kind of like, it's so big. It's so vast. And I'm not saying... okay, what is it? It's entropy. Right? Mm-hmm. That things naturally move into chaos. They don't form into perfection.
You can't ever stir the pot into an organized manner.
Correct. You can never pull an egg out of cookie batter.
Right.
You know, like you mix the ingredients in, it makes batter.
Okay.
And so like with the Big Bang and physics or the law of entropy is that things naturally will go into chaos, which means the energy is going to go out into space and it's going to get more chaotic and more sporadic and more messed up.
So
It's
in
never
theory-
an explosion is never gonna create a bomb. There's never gonna be an explosion on Earth that all of a sudden a little bomb with a wick comes out of.
Mm-hmm.
You know, it's the bomb that creates the chaos of the energy exploding, and
So with that being said, Earth should have never formed.
it couldn't form.
Shouldn't have.
Let alone if you go further into that, even that idea, Earth forming, the moon forming, even that idea is wild. But then to go after that form, you get waterfalls, and you get trees, and you get strawberries and raspberries
People
from energy blowing up. Big Bang happens, gas goes everywhere. Gas goes everywhere. And then globs start forming. And it starts to create this spin of energy. And gases start to compress on this planet. And you get this blue marble in which all of a sudden water, which didn't exist in the Big Bang, happens. And the planet becomes a water planet. And then on top of that,
Well, it's because oxygen mixed with hydrogen, 2 parts per 1, and created.
yeah, so H2O happened scientifically, and then it went all over the planet, and then land masses and tectonic plates started moving and running into each other to create beautiful mountains with snow because it was cooler in certain parts. Even though the whole thing was 93 million miles away from the sun, the top and the bottom is
Well, it's farther away from the sun.
it's farther away from the equator, so it's much cooler. I mean, like ice sheets cooler than like Hawaii, which is about 4,000 miles centered. And it's tropical there.
I mean, even if you go from like Texas to Colorado.
Yeah, but at the top of the mountain in Hawaii, which is about 5,000 feet higher than the sea level, you can go snow skiing. So it is a little bit cooler, those
Closer to the sun.
couple thousand miles closer to the sun.
Yeah.
Logically. So anyway,
So in theory, they lie. You know,
right.
basically what
And
we're
so my
saying.
point is then
I
on
don't
top of
believe
all
in the
that
Big
being,
Bang theory.
then you have hundreds, if not thousands of species of animals that their own independent anatomy and biology are incredible. Every animal, every ant, an ant exists. One ant, little 6-legged motherfucker, this thorax, and he's all on pheromones and stuff, and he just follows the next ant, and they create immense colonies into the ground. And you have cockroaches, and you have ant eaters that just eat ants, and then you have trees with fruit, and all of this happened from energy going through space and just randomly collecting into what we call a planet. And then it's like none of that makes sense. Like no matter what, there has to be a creator, and I don't know what that means. I don't know if it's a software developer or if it's God or what it is, but it's like it makes no logical sense that the Big Bang happened and then we get strawberries that feed us for energy. Like we have these human beings that are like a 80-year fucking battery of blood pumping and nerves creating and tastes and smell and sight and feeling energy and all of the differences of each and every human like happening randomly through entropy is the wildest concept of anything. And so back to my point, I don't think that anything that we're told scientifically, at least relating to our skies and the cosmos, is anywhere near the truth. I think
I believe that. Now that statement, I believe wholeheartedly.
and I think that we are made by something to experience the perfection that is
Humans,
in it.
So
You mean
just to
like-
pick a small
like a
section
higher
of that,
power.
Strawberries weren't created naturally. The strawberries as we know them today,
Yeah.
we've
Altered.
we've altered and we've genetically.
Well, most
I wouldn't say
fruits and veggies, I
genetically
think.
modified, but we've what's the term called? I can't think.
Domesticated.
Yeah, yeah, we took.
We've genetically modified them. It's just a GMO. All the fruits that we eat and all the veggies that we eat most of the time are GMOs. But you can find pineapples in the wild. You can find berries in the wild. You can stumble across like even like I mean, there's so many things that you can I mean,
Dog.
sure, strawberries aren't the best, but it's crazy that through entropy Nick was created and Nick can genetically modify a strawberry and make that strawberry better.
Make whatever you want. Podcast.
Make a podcast. Yeah, out of entropy from the Big Bang, we can make a podcast. And then you go into like technology and stuff, dude. And to think that everything is created by man's thought first. Like man has thought, I want to create microphone, omnidirectional. And he does it. And then that connects to a computer. And then everybody in the world theoretically can watch.
So I don't know if we've ever had this conversation before, but if you were to get sent back into time, right, before a lot of the technology, do you think you'd be able to recreate
Nothing.
None of it.
Nate Bargatze does a
Everything
comedy
we
bit
use.
on that.
Yeah, everything we use today. Yeah.
You'd be a crazy. Like imagine going to like
Just tell
Knights
them.
of the Round Table and you're like, hey guys, I know that we're about to go into battle, but I just want to let you guys know. Apple created this thing called an iPhone. And they're like, what's Apple? And you're like, it's a company. And they're like, what's a company? And you're like,
Forget it.
it's a group of people that got together and created technology. And they're like, what's technology? And you're like, it's devices that they take power. And they're like, what's power? And you're like, they create screens. And you're like, what's a screen? And you're like,
Even something
This
basic
is
like
tough.
electricity.
right. Like explosions? And you're like, no, it's like, no, I'd become, Nate Bargatze does it perfect where he's like, I would be dumber than them. I'd be a crazy. I don't even know how to explain anything. Like, what's a jelly bean? Ow. Sugar. And then you heat it up in a pan, add red dye 40.
Forget it. What do
Corn
you guys
syrup.
do?
Yeah,
Let's do what you guys are doing.
Let's eat some more raw meat. Whatever, like.
Start a fire. You're like,
Yeah. No, I'm done. I'm dead. I'm done. You're like, I need to get in my car. And they're like, car. And you're like, oh, shoot. Do you have the intraweb? Yeah, I don't know. And then to think that we have these, like everything that we've created by man was just a thought in some guy's head first. And he's like, I got a wild idea. Everything that we see from a mug to a box to a microphone, somebody's like, I got an idea. Which is a wild concept. Like everything. Glasses. Like I think if we maybe like, what if we melted sand?
Just hold them up here. So
Yeah, and you're like, I can see better. What if we put that in metal and strapped it to your face? It's like all so crazy. Like to think of the first man that was like, I know we got bows and arrows, but I was playing with this black powder stuff. And when I added it to the fire, it go boom. And I'm thinking if I put that into a case and put lead at the end and then put it in a tube.
fire that lead.
And how many people died in the very first scientific? They're like, this isn't going well. We lost another one.
Imagine how many people died with just like any type of fireworks.
Or the most monumental, like the Chinese, when they developed black powder, whoever the first one was, they were like the wizards of the time,
sure.
the alchemists or whatever, and they're like created bombs and stuff. And then those people, like, imagine the people they're going against, they're like, yo, they got magic. Like, they drop these things and they explode. They don't got words for it. They ain't got words for it because you've never seen it. It's like, no, it goes, boom. I mean, you just got to think of, like, imagine, like, like, you have a whole bunch of guys with swords, and then the other group has guns, and they're like, yo, dude, we were outmatched. They were. You couldn't even see this stuff. You heard a bang, and then our guys just
like from way over there. They just like got us.
Yeah, because there's a few battles before they like got their own. Like they got one lucky one with an arrow, and then they found the gun. They didn't have ammunition. They just had a gun. Just pulling the trigger.
It's just pointless.
You're not very accurate with that thing. Shooting air, whatever it is. It's just crazy to me to think that throughout history, there's like these monumental moments in time where technology has moved forward and the other side doesn't have it. And it's like really unfair. It's like, I don't know if we can beat them, boss. Like, they got boomsticks.
Let's join them.
Yeah. You're like, you might as well just give up, dude. We got boomsticks and back powder.
Boomsticks.
I mean, for real though, that's crazy. I think it'd be cool to do a deep dive into like the old school alchemists, the wizards of the time.
I'd like to. Yeah, I would. That'd be cool.
Because like in the time, dude, those dudes were wizards. Like that was like you were a magician.
Mm-hmm.
You know, like Gandalf, dude, he's studying magic.
What do you think he did?
How do you even find it? What is black powder made of?
Playing around with stuff all the time.
I know, but where's black powder come from? Like, what do you mine it?
No, it's a mixture. I look it up. It's like 3 chemicals. It's real easy.
Yeah, but you have to know what even a chemical is to be able to find those chemicals.
Well, it's like basic ones. So let me check it.
I know you're saying basic ones, but I promise you that right now I'm not finding black powder or making it in my lifetime.
It's potassium nitrate, charcoal, which is carbon, and saltpeter, 10% sulfur. So it's like.
So who did that though?
Yeah.
Who's like, I got this.
Well, it was invented in the 19th century by China. 9th century.
9th?
Yeah, which is year 800.
800s, yeah. But like, there's just a guy who had some potassium and some carbon and some saltpeter, and he's like, I'm thinking crazy today.
They lit it on fire. Is like, and he's like,
and did they have like, how did they light fires in 800?
Sparks, flint.
No, flint.
Yeah, you know, like
they had flints.
Yeah, flint's been around since caveman.
Yep.
Don't look.
That's how cavemen started fires.
See?
I knew that one.
Cro-Magnons, Neanderthals. What is that? What are you doing? What are you stuck?
What?
I don't know, dude. My brain is so messed up when it comes to like alternate histories and it.
You don't believe in Cro-Magnons or Neanderthals?
I'm not saying I don't believe in them. I'm saying that I don't know if I believe in the idea of like straight cavemen out there, like fucking roaming around.
That's what a Cro-Magnon and Neanderthals are.
I know, but I'm talking about like
Neanderthals even have sloped foreheads because they didn't have a prefrontal cortex.
Yeah, they're very. I know, which is weird because the prefrontal cortex is instinct. Like that's your. It's like where your hand-eye coordination comes on. You'd think that if you were a caveman, the thing that you'd want is instinct and eye-hand coordination.
Didn't have it.
Right? Yeah. How did they survive?
That's why they're not here anymore.
I just think it's crazy. I just think that like our history is always written by the victors.
Well, of course it is.
Right. It's his story. So it's like whoever wins gets to tell the story. Even if you just like killed off everything, you're like, they were coming at us. We killed them.
Yep.
You know, whatever. And so I just think that like, I don't think that we actually know. I feel like there's major issues with like carbon dating and stuff. Like I know that I read an article that said that you can like carbon date like a banana from today and it'll like say it's thousands of years old and stuff. Like they're not necessarily accurate. I mean, I would imagine that they're accurate to some degree, but like I just read stuff and
sometimes carbon dating works, don't you?
Half-lives.
Correct. Yeah.
But once you get to like hundreds of thousands or millions of years,
I feel like those are just guesses. I feel like it's such a slow breakdown. They're like, yeah, it's 100,000.
And I read something the other day that was talking about like finding like whole dinosaurs, like finding whole.
I don't think they've
skeletons.
Ever found a whole dinosaur.
Right? How weird. That's super strange, right? Like to not find one whole dinosaur.
I don't find it that strange. I mean, it is strange to me because we have museums all over the world that have full dinosaurs, but I find it more believable that there's not full dinosaurs in the ground because bone.
They don't even fossil.
Everything breaks down, especially over millions.
Unless it's
years.
in like certain mud or like layers of sediment or amber or something
like amber, yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
So
it'd have to be in a protective layer.
Correct. So it's like if you never found a whole dinosaur, then how do you know what that thing looks like?
How do you know it's skin color?
How do you know it has scales?
Yeah.
It had
No, I
blood.
get it.
You don't know. So this is a whole nother pseudoscience to me. It's just like a hypothetically.
But they do say that there's pterodactyls like bigger than jets that we know today. Could you imagine a big...
That's when you get into dragon talk, which is super weird too, dude.
I
Like,
mean, that's what they say.
I know, but they again.
They talk a lot.
They always be talking, dude.
Who are they?
Right.
Scientists, they know what's up.
I just think that it's disheartening to know that like we as a species, because of collusion and convolution, there's like we're never gonna know stuff. There's never like gonna be like this absolute storyline of the human race because it's always written by the winner.
Know, I think in the Vatican they have a library that's locked up of all the history known to man.
To my point, we'll never know.
You don't think we'll ever storm the Vatican?
No, the Vatican is one of the strongest countries on earth, and it's just this little fucking 30 square miles or whatever. It's not even that big. I don't think it's this tiny little piece that's like Washington D.C. of Italy.
Right, and you think that they're just gonna withhold all this information from the rest of the world?
Who's going in? When are they gonna do it?
Challenge accepted, bro. I don't know. It's hard for me to imagine that all of the countries all over the world with all of our stupid leaders and bullies and all this.
Well, when we speak of they,
yeah,
you're thinking the elites,
Mm-hmm.
which if you don't have the Vatican or the Pope in that group of people, then you're tripping. So it's like for them to be like, you know what, I think the human race should know what we know. Here's the Holy Grail.
It's never going to happen.
Period.
It will never happen.
There's just nothing. We burnt down the Library of Alexandria, which is the largest library of the world, and let that go. Just burnt all the data of the human race up in a second, which I'm sure a lot of it did get taken to the Vatican at the time. Who burnt down the Library of Alexandria? Was that during the Roman Empire?
I believe so. Hold on.
There's no way the Romans would have burnt that down. That had to have been by the
Romans?
Knights Templar. Did the Knights Templar burn down the library?
That's the first thing you put on. It wasn't destroyed in a single event, but rather through multiple fires and incidents over several centuries.
Yeah, but the library...
With the most famous instance often attributed to Julius Caesar's in 47 BCE.
Before Christ. So Rome, in their expansion, literally wiped out the Library of Alexandria, which is so crazy and wild. But I guess when you're in the present moment, you're not thinking that there's so much history here. You know?
Yeah, it's just like this is what's happened recently.
Yeah, fuck you guys, we're burning it down.
We're the keeper of the knowledge.
We're the keeper of the knowledge, and no more knowledge for you.
I'm telling the story here on out.
So it's just crazy to me to think that we'll never actually have a truth thing. It's always going to be conceptual no matter what. Even when you study U.S. history to 1865 or history from 1865 on, current U.S. history, it's like even that is written by the white man. You know, like it's not written by the Native American. They're silenced. They're throttled. It's not written by, you know, even, it's like all of history is written by the person that's still there who took over that land. It's not written by the guys like, nah, we lost. This is what happened.
Never.
You know, it's always by force. And it's just crazy. And so my whole entire view of space is like, we don't fucking know. We're not going to know. They're not going to let us know. The furthest that we can go is low Earth orbit. And we're not going to go beyond that. This Artemis mission. It's crazy how in 1969 they didn't need to refuel that rocket. They just made it. But now we need to put space. Like Elon Musk's like, no, we got to fucking put space gas stations in there. So that we can
gas stations.
Yeah, how do you get the gas up to the space gas station?
I feel like even if you were to light gas on fire, moleculeless vacuum.
They say it works better in a vacuum.
Is that what they say?
Astrophysicists, yeah.
Astrophysicists.
They say that
the gas is more
I did research on it. I literally did research on this the other day. This is what they said. They said that because you're actually coasting the whole way. You just get going. And they said that you're not flying 18,000 miles an hour. I looked into the 18,000 miles an hour with ChatGPT, and I
Fuel
said
needs oxygen to burn. That's a rule.
no. I hear what you're saying. We're not arguing. I'm telling you what they said, and they said that. First of all, I said, if I look at something going 18,000 miles an hour past me, or even 6,000 miles per hour past me, why does it like go like this? And in the sky it doesn't. And they said perspective. And they said when you're watching a satellite go across the sky and it's moving and it seems slow, that's hundreds of miles above you and it's covering a huge distance. So when you're actually like the distance that it's covering from way up there as the second hand versus the minute hand on a clock, that second hand is moving quicker even though it looks slow. You know? And it was talking about it moving fast. In which that didn't satisfy me because I've seen rocket ships flying and I can track them with my eye. And then I watched that sled going 6,000 miles an hour and I'm like, didn't even see it move. It went so fast, it was like a blink of the eye.
So another crazy concept is that when you see you've seen satellites, right?
Mm-hmm.
In the sky. They don't have, real satellites don't have lights on them.
They definitely don't have a light that I can see from hundreds of miles away.
And they're about the size of a car.
Right.
And that's what you're seeing out there? Just not buying that.
I can't even see a car. I can't even see a car if it was parked on Horsetooth.
Yeah, that's closer than what they said it's up there.
Right. I can't see.
And you're just seeing it.
Like when I'm in a plane and I'm looking out the window and I'm looking at the cars driving on the highway and it's like this little spot.
First take off and come down.
Yeah. And that's 6 miles. It's 6 miles.
Yeah, you get so high, like you get barely even up there.
I definitely can't see people from a plane. There's no people. It's just big cars, trucks, whatever. And then you get to space, dude, you're definitely not seeing it. You can't see cars, but they say that we can see a satellite from ground. Not only that, dude, it's like you get into the... There's not one real picture of a fucking satellite. You don't have nobody with telescopes tracking satellites or seeing them fly around. You just see these lights. What are those lights?
UFOs, man. They're just traveling out there. They're just other things that are out there.
Well, here's the deal. I think we cleared 2 hours. I can't see it from here. It's 2 hours and 6 minutes of literal nonsense, never-ending style.
Is that slow for you? Do we bore you?
No.
To wrap it up,
I don't know.
I don't know shit.
I would agree.
I have my theories. We're going to do a study.
An energy study?
Stay tuned.
We're going to update you on that study.
We're doing the energy study.
We can pretty much do that with a blindfold in my living room, just so you know.
Yep.
Perfect.
It'll be easy. Can't wait. Anyway, I guess that's it.
Just wait for Nick to tell us we just guessed really good.
Can't wait to say that.
These are really good guesses.
Really good guesser.
Anyway, we'll find out soon enough. Peace out.